Hello, everyone, and welcome to the INDYCAR Open Series, round number 3. Tonight, we head for the forests of Belgium, the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. First hosted an automobile race in 1921. It never has hosted Indy cars in real life, but that's the great thing about the sim, folks. We get to experience things that you would not normally see. Things that you do normally see. Kevin Burrell, Sam Carosella, Christian Hildegard, Nathan Moore, Phil Kraus, those guys going fast. But you don't normally see it here at a Formula One course, Clindy. Clindy?
Murph, I'm having a really hard time hearing you through Discord. Apologies for the delay, but welcome to Belgium, everyone. This Monday night top split's going to feature a lot of heavy hitters. Keep your eye, as always, on the black belt in the field, Phil Kraus. Will Lyon is no one to sleep on as well. As long as they are anywhere near the top 10 and their cars are undamaged, I would put a lot of money on them coming home, right around the likes of Nathan Moore and Kevin Burrell. Those four are going to be my ones to watch today around this 4 1/3 mile roller coaster in the forest.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. A lot of people compare Road America to the American Spa. Well, this is the real Spa, and it's very similar to what you would experience at Road America. My apologies for some technical difficulties as we experience the glitches here with ATVO, but you can kind of see it just looking down the straightaway, the plunge toward Radallion and Eau Rouge. That is one of the trickiest corners in motor racing. You come around that and go up to Kimmel Straight for one of the fastest blasts through the forest. They used to, back in the olden days, when they got to the end of the Kimmel Straight, they would turn to the left and head out for the streets, the highways that surround the towns, and then come back in, rejoin the modern circuit, really somewhere around Blanchimont. Today, we're on the modern Grand Prix circuit, so no highways, no farmhouses.
Yeah, we got a bit of a history lesson from Christian Hildegard earlier today, and he let us know that the chicane was actually at one point an actual bus stop, hence the name bus stop.
Yeah, it was. There's also all sorts of crazy footage if you go watch the movie Grand Prix. James Garner. They emulate the famous crash into the farmhouse that once happened here. The old circuit ran right up next to people's homes. It was very, very. It ran right up next to people's homes. It was very, very fast, very dangerous. They built the modern circuit in 1979, I believe, after protests from the drivers over safety, and it has become what it is today from there. It was at one point even still, I mean, this is still a pretty fast-flowing circuit, Clindy, but it used to be, back in the day when it was first built, quite a bit faster than it even is now.
First few times are populating on the board here. Logan Edwards just got upset by Kevin Burrell and Christian Hildegard. Looks like a low 153.1 or a mid 152 are going to be the times to watch.
Absolutely, the best I could manage out there, Clindy. I did run around a little bit. We're gonna watch Phil Kraus here. I did run around a little bit. I could break into the 157s if I was lucky. Watching Phil as he takes his hot lap. What's the best you've done? Care to tell us, or did you?
If I go into test drive and I look at my all-time best lap, it is blank. I've run the GTPs here, which are similar and also constructed by Dallara, but currently they're much, much faster than the IndyCar, so probably not safe or fair to compare the two.
Absolutely. There are tracks, by the way, if you run the the Porsche 917. There are tracks where the old hybrid LMP1s could be faster than an IndyCar. Of course, there are tracks where they're faster than Formula One cars, but not so here. IndyCar is very, very quick. Still a few seconds adrift of a Formula One car, But these are very, very fast. Watching Phil work his way through the downhill section. We finally get trading paints to come up. Now, Clindy has a treat for you this evening, race fans. He is going to pronounce the corners in the French.
Oh, quelle surprise! Mon français est très mauvais, désolé. Mais le premier turn à l'accord de Spa est le source, le deuxième rouge, le troisième rayon avec le straight camel. En plus, les cônes, Malmedy, rivage Bruxelles, no name en anglais, un bouchon, double gauche, le fond, Stavelot, campus, curve par frère, blanchiment, and finement. Bienvenue à Spa, Murphy. Comment ça va de le record aujourd'hui?
Completely unfair to Clindy, as we're going to pop up and show Sam Carosella here. Completely unfair to Clindy. The only French words I know are crepes and champagne. So there you go. Pretty much everybody has finished with their qualifying runs at this point. Kevin Burrell is going to go out. We'll put Kevin up here in the Fiercely Ford machine. Kevin is extremely quick in pretty much anything with a right-hand turn. Got a good-looking hot rod there, yellow and black. We'll see what Kevin can do as he pulls out here for a blast through the Belgian forest. Down the Kimmel Straight, headed for Clindy. What's the next corner? Help me out, brother.
Les Combes.
Lacombe. That's turns 7, 8, and 9. You're going to have a quick straight and then down to Bruxelles. It would be turns 10 and 11.
I think it's going to be Bruxelles.
Bruxelles, there you go. Turn 12 would be Clindy.
Well, 12 is a few steps away from where we are right now, but right now we're on Pouhon, the double turn. 12 is Le Fong.
Very good. And then we'll head down to 13, 14, and 15 to complete the second sector. And then some of these kind of get me a little bit as we red flag the session. We do have a full grid here at Spa, 25 automobiles, and here we go with the grid. On the pole, Christian Hildegard, fast lap 152.521, flanked by Nathan Moore, 153.050. Kevin Burrell and Tristan Moss will make up row 2. Will Leon and Alan Brutteau, row 3. We're going to have Seb Alexander, Phil Kraus, uncharacteristic low qualifying spot for Phil. He will start 8th. Blaze Aldrich and Sam Carosella will round out the top 10. Starting 11th, Rashad Craig in the IR machine. He's flanked by Olivia Hayward. 13th, Nick Sudik. 14th, Matt Taylor. Logan Edwards will go 15th. Matt Hollybaugh 16th. Leon, you want to take a stab at that, Clindy?
This looks to be German or perhaps a Norse language. I would say it is Fluggiger.
Very good. Leon Fluggiger, he'll go 17th. Ollie McGowan, 18th. David Hinger, 19th, ran with him some at Michigan. Really nice guy. And Thomas Van Kirk will round out the top 20. 21st, Nelson Alinsky. 22nd, Craig Forsyth. Robin Glenkus, Uncle Rob, 159 flat. He will go 23rd. Connor Paris and Sophia Connell did not set a time. They will start 24th and 25th. And we are waiting on the grid to form here.
Trust me, I would be probably 19th or further back on this grid. I doubt I could post faster than a 156 flat. So I think maybe starting from the back and avoiding whatever carnage is sure to happen in La Source when someone decides to full send and go full Max Verstappen here in these open wheel cars and survive and pick up whatever spots you can would be my strategy here at the beginning.
Yeah, I've got my eye on that. I've got my eye on that first Eau Rouge to Redalion complex, and then the first right-hander in the Lacombe. I think that's going to be where the action is on the first lap. The Eau Rouge complex, which is 3, 4, and 5. Redalion is the famous corner at the top of the hill, not Eau Rouge. But if you get alongside somebody there, you can force them basically off the road at will. And then the Kimmel Straight is probably the best passing opportunity. You've got that hard right-hander to start the chicane there. That is.
Assume the red's not the tire to be on.
That is a. That's going to be your best passing opportunity probably for the first few laps. Give me 1 second, Clindy. Do want to disable my voice chat.
I think the best next passing spot is probably in the pits. Honestly, go off strategy, go off sequence, find your way around other drivers, or be on the opposite type of compound of them to try to work your way through the field.
It most certainly is. And the other thing is the strategy here, right? So the blacks, as you can see, most of the guys are going off on the black tires. We've only got one car at the front, at the sharp end of the grid, who is on the reds, and I believe that's Tristan Moss. Everybody else has gone off on the blacks, it appears. The blacks really are the preferred tire. You want to go as long as you can on those because the reds are really gone after 5 or 6 laps. They just don't last, and you're going to have to do at least 9 or 10 laps on them. So these guys are really looking to minimize the time that they spend on those Firestone red tires here.
Yeah, if you remember at Road America, you could make about 14 or 15 laps on fuel if you were to fuel save. The pace lap is just as long, just over 4 miles, very similar to Road America. Pace car is pulling off here. We're set to go.
Green, green, green.
Christian Hilgard has the loud button pressed, and he is gone from Kevin Burrell. Burrell going to fight with Will Lyon here down into turn number 1. Lyon to the inside of Nathan Moore. He's going to get away with it, following back through the field. Everybody seems to have made it through that first La Source, and we're going to blast up the hill toward the Kimmel Straight in Lacombe.
Seb Alexander got split 3 wide, but sorts it all out before Eau Rouge, down the Kimmel Straight, and into the first hard braking zone at speed at Lacombe. Kraus's
Give it the blimp shot. There's Seb. He's closing up on the backside of Sam Carosella. He's giving chase to Blaze Aldrich. Phil Kraus has made up a spot. Phil is up to 7th, and now they're going to head back down the hill, and we'll put the camera on Phil as he works over Alan Berteau.
Nice and orderly there through the forested roller coaster here in Belgium. No one off track, no one making contact, everyone minding their P's and Q's on their best European behavior tonight.
That's absolutely true. Everybody doing a really good job. Do want to give a shout out to the weather here. 67 degrees, 68 on the track. It is overcast, and it is a perfect recipe for speed here at Spa for sure. Still taking a look at Phil. He's riding along in 7th. Meanwhile, we've got a pass for position back in the pack, and we've got a heck of a fight. That is Matt Hollybaugh. He's got Ollie McGowan and Logan Edwards, as well as Leon all over him. Hollybaugh going to lose spots in a wholesale fashion from 15th to 18th in one set of corners.
Well, they continue to be side by side. He could make up space here in the final chicane, formerly a bus stop. Conservative there. Oh, on the bumps, and he gets really sideways. Good save, Matt.
That corner.
Bring it to us at La Source and outbreak your opponent and establish a position. That's how it's done.
Absolutely. So here he goes. Now, the outside can be very powerful here because you're going to get a really strong run up toward Eau Rouge and Redalion. We see Craig Forsyth in the background as well as David Hinger. Forsyth making the pass there. Hollybaugh going to hold the spot over David Hinger, though. He's still under fire from what? He's got 2 cars in immediate attendance. Let's see. Hinger not on the button. He is going to draft past, and let's see if Craig Forsyth can follow him through Clindy.
Yeah, what a hornet's nest we've got back here, fighting for 17th. This is incredible.
These guys are after it back here. We'll go ahead and show you Matt Hollybaugh's inputs. Down to 2nd gear, down to 1st. He's going to try to get the launch off the corner, but he has a rearview mirror and a gearbox full of Craig Forsyth, and there are at least 5 or 6 cars waiting for the number 24 machine to make a mistake here so they can sneak on through. Holly Bachforce, a member of the All-American iRacer stable.
Those keeping track at home, Kraus is up yet another spot now, lurking in 6th, just behind our outside pole sitter, Nathan Moore. I do want to call attention to the start of the race. Moore was the big loser there. He started 2nd and has now established himself in 5th. So just not responding to the initial jump of the pole sitter of Christian Hilgard really left him out to dry.
Meanwhile, we've got Will Leon looking on the back of Tristan Moss. Tristan, the only starter on the red tires, and those are already going to start to fade, Clindy.
Yeah, with the amount of force applied to those very squishy tires here in these high-speed corners, I would expect them to last, at Road America, you get 2 or 3 really good laps. Here, I'd say you get 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's not much. You want to make sure that you take as good a care of those reds as you possibly can. But Tristan's already going to start to lose time here. You see him falling into the clutches, the Indy Alliance racing machine of Will Lyon. And then lurking right behind them, Phil Kraus. This is the best battle on the racetrack right now. This is Moss in 3rd, Moss in 3rd, Lyon 4th, Kraus 5th. Nathan Moore has been moved back to 6th. So Phil gets by Nathan Moore as we work lap 3 of 21.
Really good run here for Moss so far as he flicks some gravel onto the racetrack. Moss is the 18th highest rated car in this field, which puts him in the bottom third of drivers here. If he can finish on the podium, that will be a lot of I rating for him to claim.
Absolutely, and you gotta kind of admire the choice to go off on the reds. We're talking about Tristan Moss rather, and the reason is that he's on the opposite strategy of everybody else. As he goes off there, that'll get Phil behind him fired up. Phil does not enjoy people littering on his racetrack, as he says. But
Phil and Will are wondering what they did to make Tristan mad. Be like, hey, Christmas was last week. I didn't ask for any pea gravel.
And there goes Will Leon. He's going to make the move to the left-hand side of Tristan Moss. Doesn't quite get it done here. Let's see if he can keep a nose in. Very close quarters through the bus stop, but does not get it done. And the reason that's called a bus stop, Clindy, is
there used to be real-life buses there back in the days of yore. Back when this used to be real roads that real people drove on, much like Monaco today. People at one point drove through these in the forested hills of Belgium as, the automobile was still young in the 1920s.
And that wasn't all that uncommon, even up into the 1970s, of course. The most famous one we're seeing Phil. He's going to move to the left of Will Leon, and he's going to try to get Tristan Moss. Phil's going to get 2 for the price of 1. Leon going to follow him through. He can't make the move on Phil, though, so put Phil Kraus to 3rd, Will Leon to 4th, Tristan Moss is 5th. Nathan Moore is the next car in that conga line, and he's going to start to work over Moss as well. And you can see it, Clindy. You can absolutely see it on the Tristan Moss machine. Those tires are already gone, and he's still going to have to do at least another 4 or 5 laps on those things.
I think if Tristan can pit somewhere in the top 10, he'll be happy. That's probably optimistic.
It does beg the point, though. As long as he's able to stay up there and stay within earshot, he's going to have the advantage in the second half of this race. The rest of these guys are going to come out on reds. They're going to be fighting for grip toward the end, and he's going to be sitting pretty on some really nice blacks. We're seeing Nathan Moore go off there. Love the animation of the gravel on the tires, Clindy.
Yeah, and another thing to touch on there is that if Tristan has clean track on his primary black compound tires, much like we saw at Road America, getting out there by yourself and away from traffic, you can set some really good lap times running all by yourself. So if Tristan can just hold it down until he can get good times all by his lonesome and not worry about racing for position side by side, he'll be racing for time, which will get him positions without having to go wheel to wheel.
Absolutely, and that can be a huge thing. The other thing that kind of mitigates against that, though, Clindy, is if you're out there by yourself, you don't have the draft. The draft here, just like at Road America, can be pretty big. Watching still Tristan Moss, he's in 5th. He is the only runner on the reds, and he's using, you see, you see it blink there on your screens, folks. He's using a blip, a push to pass, just to try to kind of any way he can stay ahead of Nathan Moore.
Well, right now he's just trying to stay in the wake in the draft of Willian and Phil Kraus, and trying to hang on to Phil Kraus's coattails is a recipe for success at any track we go to.
Yeah, and the draft here being what it is, as long as he can nurse those reds for another 4 or 5 laps, he's going to be in really, really good shape, Kyle. Meanwhile, let's take a look at some of the other guys that are in the field here. Robin Glakis will take attendance. There's Uncle Rob. He is 24th. Sophia Campbell is 1 lap down already, and Sophia is in the pits. Thomas Van Kirk, you see Thomas there. He's 23rd. Connor Parise is in the 22nd position, car number 19. Matt Hollybaugh, 21st in the number 24 car for the All-American iRacers. And Nelson Olinsky, haven't seen him before. He's rocking the high B colors. He is 20th in the number 23 machine, just behind Craig Forsyth, a familiar face, and David Hinger, who we touched on earlier. The Hornet's Nest is still around Tristan Moss, though. Nathan Moore has gotten by him, and there are 5 more automobiles lined up in close attendance on Tristan Moss. He is now 6th, but inching ever closer toward his pit stop, Clindy.
Yeah, basically, if he can slot in or pit right after Rashad Craig gets around him, if that's in 2 or 3 laps time, hopefully for Tristan, I think he'll be coming out smelling like daisies. But if he falls much further beyond that, or if he makes a mistake on these reds, which damages his car, he'll definitely wish he could have this one back.
Absolutely. You know, and give Tristan a lot of credit. He's hanging on. He's hanging in there. He does have Blaze Andrich coming. Blaze looks to the right, doesn't get it done, and he'll follow Tristan Moss through another set of corners here. Good looking black and yellow machine there. Kind of looks like a Hornet, doesn't it, Clindy?
As do those fiercely forward cars. Most of them are yellow and black as well. So you've got a good contingent of the black and yellow squad here on Monday night.
You absolutely do. That Sam Carosella right behind Blaze Andrich. Sam Carosella, very, very noted road racer in the community. He has won the Indy Pro 2000 championship previously in iRacing overall. So noted road racer. That's a series with not a lot of ovals. And so Sam, very, very good road racer. Also very handy in the Skip Barber cars. Loves his skippies too. But Sam lurking in 8th. Looking to pounce here. See if Blaze can get past Tristan Moss. Both of them on the button. Very defensive line there by Tristan.
Every second he can harm this train of 5 cars behind him is a second he won't have to make up later.
Absolutely. We're going to go on board Sam Carosella. We're going to see what he sees right on the back of the Eclipse competition machine of Tristan Moss. That's 8th place, looking at 7th. I would suspect we're going to see Sam make this move here within the next couple of corners, probably down the Kimmel Straight.
I think he's going to do it New Rouge. He's going to keep it matted, or maybe it looks like it's going to be Radeon.
You're riding right on the roll bar. Sam Carosella, 5th gear, 6th gear. No lift over the curbs. On the button, and here we go.
Yeah, he'll have the slipstream here all through the Kimmel Straight, and he'll get through 5, 6, and 7, and look to put Blaze Andrich in his crosshair.
Absolutely. So good move there for Sam Carosella. Tristan Moss will now fall into the clutches of Alan Breteau, who is 9th. Behind them is the Indy Alliance pairing of Seb Alexander and Rashad Craig. That is 10th and 11th. And then you've got a ways back, about 3 seconds, to Matt Taylor in the MadWorks car. He's followed by Olivia Hayward. That's 12th and 13th. And so you've got those 2 cars together, but they're about 3 seconds behind Rashad. And then you've got Leon. He's kind of not all by himself, but he's got a second. He's got 2.5, 3 seconds up to Olivia, and then another second and a bit back to Ollie McGowan, Nicholas Sudik, Logan Edwards, and that train of cars. There's 3 or 4 of them together there. And then you've got 7 seconds back to David Hinger Forsyth, and this group that's kind of bringing up the end. And of course, Robin Glakis is the caboose. 24, Sophia Connell out of the race in 25th.
Seating up at the front, Burrell is getting closer and closer to Hilgard.
Now that is teammates, right? You see him coming through there, but that is teammates, Burrell and Hildegard. And so Kevin and Christian, they will be in communication in Discord. They are going to be talking. You see the gap as they come down toward Redalion and Eau Rouge. But you see the gap there between first and second, third and fourth, up the hill and down the Kimmel Straight one more time, working lap 8 of 21. These two are running, Clindy, absolutely as close to lap times as you can. 156.477 for Hildegard, 156.451 for Kevin Burrell that last time by. These guys are absolutely as closely matched as you can make them. We'll go ahead and let you ride along, Kevin Burrell, get the telemetry up and see what it's like for a lap here around Spa.
So do note that as he rides behind his teammate here, he is getting better fuel economy. With pit stops coming up close in relative time, it's possible that Burrell may need less fuel on the stop. Maybe not a whole second's worth, but anything to cut a couple tenths out of that lead will help tighten this up for these two teammates later down.
Absolutely. And Kevin, notice something at home, and this is something that I have trouble with, just exactly how much of the road these guys use without getting the dreaded 1X. They're almost inch perfect with it. Yeah.
All of it. Every time.
The precision with which the top guys in this series, the Hildegards, Burrells, the Krauses, the Will Lyons, the precision that they have in driving these cars is absolutely incredible. We're watching from the roll bar of Kevin Burrell as he chases teammate Christian Hildegard. Phil Kraus is third, and don't want to lose sight of Phil, although he's fallen off the pace a little bit, and actually Phil is getting closed down by Will Lyon. Watching there.
And your teammates here about to put on a show. Just say, hey, I could be a pro. I could beat a pro.
And it's a very rare day indeed to see Phil passed in any sort of an event. But here's Will. We're watching Phil's telemetry, not on the button. Just going to kind of coast along and save some fuel.
Yeah, and saving fuel matters, right? Every lap you can extend on these primary tires is one fewer lap you need to run on those alternate red.
Absolutely. And looking
Kristen
at Will,
has now slid to 10th behind, 10th or 11th behind Rashad Craig, where I think he was supposed to land more or less on this strategy. So we'll see where or when he chooses to give up the ghost on these reds and how it'll do.
And this is the window right here. So we're going to stay with Tristan Moss. He started 4th. He's been as high as 3rd. He is now 10th. But we're going to stay with Tristan Moss because I have a feeling he is going to be hitting pit road here. If not this lap, then the next one, Clindy, to get rid of those reds. We've got 21. We're working lap 9 of 21. He's not going to want to go 1 foot further on those things than he absolutely has to.
The one wrench or kink that might get thrown into Tristan's strategy is that if other people start bolting on the reds and they're much quicker than him, he might have to deal with traffic at the beginning or the middle of his stint that will make his blacks worse for wear at the end. So hopefully he can get while the getting's good. Here he comes to pit road. And those barrels stick out deceptively far to the right. They jut out. You have to weave to miss those soft tires at the entrance to pit road.
You also do that, and you also, this is a very treacherous pit exit, and we'll show that. You cannot put the left side tires anywhere over the line as you exit the corners here, or as you exit the pit lane here. There's Tristan. He's going to stop. We're going to get on board with him, and watch how narrow this pit lane is and how close you have to get with the left side tires getting out of here, Clindy.
Yeah, it reminds me in some ways of a reverse Daytona road course pit out where the road meets the wall very, very quickly, and you've got to put in all the lock into the wheel that you can.
Now, we talked about
So yeah,
traffic.
Tristan will be.
Yeah, we talked about.
So he's tucked on here to the back some traffic, but he should be much faster than these drivers just on raw pace. So if he can dispatch them rather quickly and save the good in his tires for the other competitors on reds later, he'll be in great shape.
Absolutely. Now that we've got pit stops, we'll go ahead and flip it back. 12 laps to go here. And Tristan Moss has come out at the very caboose of the field. And that actually, I think, might help him out because he's going to have the draft. He should be able to dispose of these cars in fairly short order and not lose too much time. And if he can do that and get gone, he might be in pretty good shape, Clindy.
Yeah, and if for whatever reason he needed to save a lap of fuel, if he either underfueled or came in at the earliest opportunity and needed to save just, a half gallon or whatever, being at the end of a tail of 3 cars makes the hole in the air so much bigger from the cars in front of him. You can easily save an extra 10 or 15% on your fuel number every lap just by being behind multiple cars rather than...
Absolutely. Got to give a chuckle to Robin Glakis there. Remember your SR, no bueno on the rear wing of the number 25 machine. But here comes Tristan Moss. He's going to go up the inside, and he will pass Robin Glakis. Van Kirk and Nelson Alinsky have pulled it onto pit road. They are going to switch it over for reds. Now, I don't think this hurts Moss that much because those guys were pretty close to the back anyway. They've also been on pit lane for 6 minutes or so. So would anticipate they're going to be out of the race. But there goes Tristan. He's going to force his way through on Mount Hollybaugh, and then he'll have Connor Parise, in very short order here coming up the hill toward the Kimmel Straight.
He should be able to push the push to pass button, and dispatch Parise here if he so wishes. Let's see which way he goes here down the Kimmel Straight. Right behind, then ducks to the inside. Well, it will be the inside of the first part of the bend, but he gets back by under.
Absolutely. Now the good thing for Tristan is he's been out for a lap now, so his blacks are nice and hot, and he's going to be able to do some quick times. He's got 4.5 seconds up the road to Forsyth Hinger in that battle as it goes. So we'll reset the field for you. Christian Hilgard leads it in the Fiercely Ford machine. He's followed by teammate Kevin Burrell. You see those two running in tandem. Phil Kraus is third. He has put a little bit of distance between himself and the IR runner of Will Lyon. Of course, the private label Team Hype Hyper Slide machine there. And there's Will's Indy Alliance racing car. Nathan Moore is fifth. He's closely attended by Blaze Andrich and Sam Carosella. They are 6th and 7th. Alan Briteau has made his way to 8th. He is followed by Seb Alexander. And then rounding out the top 10, there's Seb. Rounding out the top 10 is Rashad Craig in the 3rd Indy Alliance machine to be in the top 10. If the 4th Indy Alliance machine was here, Clindy, I would guarantee you it would be 25th on the field.
Well, we have no rogue racing entries today, and I would not have even made this split. My road rating in Formula Cars is atrocious. I believe it is like 1,800 or something around there.
I have pushed it up to mine up to 1,900, Clindy, but that's only because you and I got in a wheel banging contest at Indianapolis. Anyway, give a shout out to Olivia Hayward. Olivia's going along nicely. 16th, started 12th. She's been back as far as this is as far back as she's been, but keeping it on the road for Olivia Hayward, having a nice run out there, just kind of following along behind Logan Edwards.
A streamer herself, I think you can check out her channels are Ohay, like OHAY, and then maybe a second Y. But when you have streamers on stream, you got to give them a shout so you can go check them out at a later time and date. Another streamer I know in the field is Craig Forsyth. So his streams on ovals, he gets to wheel bang with me and Murphy, and sometimes watch me flip over or under him.
Did he go under or over you the last time? I can't remember.
Under. It's just like out of Days of Thunder.
Ah, indeed. Indeed. I try to avoid...
Wow, Tristan has already caught him. Sorry to talk about the race that's on the racetrack, but I did not expect Tristan to catch Craig this quickly. It was almost 4 seconds just last lap, and it's all evaporated. Tristan has got some serious pace.
Yeah, he does. His last lap through here was 156.470. That's only 0.4 of a second adrift than the leaders. And speaking of pace, I hate to say it, but I have to. Phil Kraus just set the purple lap, 155.766. And so he's starting to reel in that leading duo, that Fiercely Ford duo of Hildegard and Burrell. He has started to close back in on them, and he has left Will Lyon some nearly 4 seconds adrift. I think Will's blacks might be giving up a little bit. The one saving grace for Christian Hildegard is he has not used his push to pass as yet. 200 seconds. All 200 seconds still available. Kevin Burrell at 143. Phil at 106. Will Lyon has 194 seconds and 184 left in the tank for Nathan Moore. And so that's the status of the push to pass in the top five. Phil leaning on it rather liberally. Some of the others have not touched theirs yet. Watching Christian Hildegard started from the pole. He has remained there throughout. And you got to kind of wonder how much longer are Hildegard, Burrell, and Kraus going to hang on to those Firestone Blacks, or do they have enough to go another lap?
Until the fuel cell's empty, so I would expect them to at least try to start lap 14 here. We'll see what the two leaders do. The Fiercely Forward cars are in. Not enough fuel to make another lap on these primary tires.
Same for Phil Kraus. We're watching Will Lyon come through the bus stop. He will slide into the pits, as does Nathan Moore. Blaze Andrich also going to come in. Here comes Seb Alexander. Alan Berteau behind him. Rashad Craig. Nick Sudik is the next car up, but wholesale pit stops here for the top 9 in this event. Here comes Sudik. He's going to hit the pit lane. You've got Logan Edwards, Olivia Hayward, and they are also going to make for the pits. Sam Carosella, he has already made his pit stop. He is on the reds. Tristan Moss is on the black sidewall tires. Of course, he ran his reds earlier, but Tristan, there he is. Let's see where he comes out here, Clindy. We'll see exactly how profitable this was for him.
Yeah, so he ended the first stint just behind Rashad Craig, which is where he's going to start this second stint. Now, instead of being on defense, he gets to be on offense for the rest of the race. We'll see how many of these drivers he can pick off as their red tires degrade.
Absolutely. Now, he's 20 seconds behind the leader, but he's only a second and a half behind Rashad Craig. That would be 10th. Alan Berteau is another second and a half up the road from them. As we watch Tristan Moss, there's Rashad Craig in the black and lime green Indy Alliance racing machine. But they're going to pull away from him here for a couple of laps. And then once those tires cross over, Tristan Moss is going to be sitting in the catbird seat.
Another driver, and I hate to say keep your eye on him, but remember what happened at Road America. Phil Kraus was the fastest on the red tire for the entirety of the stint. He put so much space between he and the Fiercely Forward cars behind him on the red tires at the end of the race. The first part of the race was very competitive, and they were all running very similar lap times. In fact, Phil was behind them for most of the race, just like here. But now, we'll see if the same script from Road America repeats itself, and he'll be fastest at the end on the red.
Well, he's going to have a bit of a steeper gap to climb this time. Road America, and you can kind of see him up in the distance, and we'll get on board Phil. You can kind of see the Fiercely Forward cars up there going through the bus stop, but it was not quite this distance last time.
Yeah, it's almost 6 seconds that Phil will have to make up here in the last 7 laps of the race.
Now, Hildegard and Burrell were also faster that last time through by some 2 seconds. So 2:13.5 and 2:13.2 respectively for Hildegard and Burrell on the outlap. Phil 2:15, 2 minutes 15 seconds. So they gained a little bit on him even there. We've got a heck of a squabble back here for 5th, 6th, and 7th, though. That's Nathan Moore going through on Carosella and Blaze Andrich.
And that's what happens when your Reds are just one lap older. Carosella could not hold on.
No, and you got to feel like maybe Sam, he might have stopped a little bit early thinking, maybe I can get some track position, get while the getting's good and hold them off. Not the case. So put Carosella back to 7th. We're going to move Blaze Andrich to 6th and Nathan Moore back up to 5th. Nathan Moore, by the way, is the #1 machine. He's the highest I rating in this field, Clindy, 85.53 in the Formula cars.
Yeah, and we've seen him at the front a lot in our 2 road course expeditions so far this season.
Absolutely.
I believe Olivia Hayward has found trouble.
Oh, no. Let's see if we can see what's befallen Olivia here.
Seems on her 14th lap, she got punted in Pujon, which would be turn 10.
There we go. Okay. So here we go.
Guilty culprit being Logan Edwards.
And we'll show it here. Olivia right on the curves. Logan Edwards to her left. That might have been a bit of net code there, Clindy. It's hard to say. Good hard race in there, but unfortunate for Olivia. She was having a fine run. Now consigned to the pit lane for almost 2 minutes. We'll pick this battle back up between Moore, Andrich, and Carosella. That is the closest on the track. Alan Berteau and Seb Alexander are also in close attendance, although somewhat behind this. And then lurking in the background, you see Rashad Craig. Meanwhile, the gap up front is closing, but not fast enough for Phil Kraus. He was 1/10 of a second quicker than Hildegard, 2/10 quicker than Kevin Burrell, but that's not going to get it when you're 5.6 seconds behind.
I'm telling you, Murph, it's going to all come in the last 3 laps of this race. I know we're almost there, but if Phil has extra gas... Oh, he almost loses it there at the end of Pujon, coming down to Lafang. He was so sideways.
So Phil's decided to go drifting in an IndyCar again. We saw that at Road America, where we saw some amazing car control from Phil Kraus, sliding a full ground effects IndyCar through the high-speed corners there. As Clindy just said, he's doing it again. We would like to give a shout-out and a thanks to all of our viewers out there. There are a lot of you, and certainly want to thank you both for tuning it in, your engagement in the chat. Hello to Lithium Fox, Sophia Connell, the Frisky Frankie out there, Liam O'Sullivan. Do want to thank you guys all for tuning in. It's very much appreciated. If you would, if you like the stream, go ahead and hit the like button, ring the bell to subscribe. Those things do help us out, and it is very much appreciated. We also do have a GoFundMe going. If you want to if you want to leave Clindy and I a tip, please feel free to do so. I know times are tough, but that is absolutely appreciated. We are doing this for gratis and for the good of the community, so definitely appreciate that. 5 laps to go. Watching Phil Kraus, he is not closing that gap, Kyle.
Yeah, drifting may look really cool, but it's not fast. At Road America, I almost threw Phil Kraus out of the conversation after he did it a couple times. I thought he would have burned his tires off, but he knows how to do it way better than I do. So anything he does must be the best way to do it, I guess. So we'll see if it doesn't hurt him yet again, as Andrich is looking to make a move on more here through Lacombe and Malmed.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing swerving contest that they just had down through there. Blaze Andrich will remain in 6th place. Nathan Moore will stay 5th. There is about 3.5 seconds up the road to Will Lyon, who is firmly ensconced in 4th. So this is probably the best battle on the track. And you can see Seb Alexander and Alan Berteau making their way into the picture. Both of them are a little bit quicker than Sam Carosella. That extra lap on the Reds has definitely hurt that fiercely forward machine.
And the strategy I do not believe is going to pay off for Tristan Moss. He's just gone off at the end of Pujon, and his blacks are not really reeling in Rashad Craig and company ahead to the tune or the pace that he would have required to finish where he started.
Yeah, he dropped another couple of tenths of a second there. He may start to pick up here in the last couple of laps, but it may be too little too late. That red and black, or that black and lime green speck that you see up the road, that's Rashad Craig. That is 10th place, and a great run for Rashad too. He's needed that for a while. But that's Rashad Craig just going in to turn number 1, the first hairpin here. And you can see it kind of nobody around there for Tristan Moss. Matt Taylor in the background in the MadWorks car.
Yeah, Matt Taylor is in pursuit here. If his Reds have any life left in them, that's a position that Matt really, really wants.
He is somewhat faster than Tristan Moss. And so we'll see if this can develop into a battle. And then you see Nicholas Sudik and Leon there behind him, 13th and 14th.
All right, Murph, I'm never gonna give up on Phil Kraus. You can mark me as that, but I do believe the gap is too large now. There are not enough laps and too much time. A podium's not too bad for Phil, but my prediction was probably wrong that he would catch the front duo.
Yeah, he's started to slow down. I think he might have abused those reds just a little bit. He does have the purple lap at 1:54.1, but he's 2 seconds and a bit adrift of that now in his pace. Hildegard and Burrell were quite a bit faster that last time through. We'll see this time if Phil can, what kind of a lap time he can put up. But he's dropped, about a second and a half to Christian Hildegard in the last couple of laps. Hildegard now the fastest car on the circuit, 1:55.879 that last time through.
Yeah, and if Kevin Burrell, the general behind him, is not careful, he will soon be out of slipstream distance to his teammate Christian Hildegard and will not be able to position himself to make a late race lunge for the lead.
Well, and Kevin, I know I've raced with Kevin a pretty long time. Kevin Burrell would not be the sort that would do that to a teammate anyway. He's going to be pretty loyal to Christian and preserve the 1-2, especially knowing that a late lunge would hand the win to Phil. We haven't talked about points deliberately, but Kevin Burrell and Christian Hildegard are both at the top of that table, pretty close to it. Seb Alexander's another person in that discussion, as is Phil Kraus. And so, these guys are, they're also thinking about the longer term, the 12-week championship. You do get 4 drops, but you don't want to throw away a sure podium, making a crazy move at the end, especially if it's on your teammate.
Well, I think that there's a respectful, clean, and I'll say considerate way to make a pass on your teammate without losing too much time. I'm just saying that in order for him to even think about trying to win himself, he's losing touch with Christian, right? Christian's going to be even further ahead this lap, it seems. And you need to be much closer than this if you even want to think about that, right? But obviously, being a good teammate facilitates not wrecking your teammate. But I do like winning. So, whoa, Burrell really squirrely there through the first part of the bus stop.
He most certainly is. We're going to go ahead and pop up the push to pass remaining. Will Lyon sitting on a veritable mountain of it, 86 seconds. We noted before pit stops that Christian Hildegard had almost all of his left. He has now emptied the tank. Hildegard, he's on the button again. You see the tree lighten up with push to pass. But Christian Hildegard is going to be out of push to pass here very shortly. 13 seconds left. Kevin Burrell is going to use his coming down the Kimmel Straight, but he doesn't have very much left either. Phil is almost out. Will Lyon, 77 seconds left. But that's the push to pass situation. Really awesome graphic to show you guys at home, and definitely appreciate bringing that to you. Let's go back here and watch the Andrich Moore battle, because Blaze Andrich and Nathan Moore have been going at it hammer and tong for about the last 5 or 6 laps, Clindy, and they don't look like they're about to stop anytime soon.
Sam Carasella is like, hey, you guys passed me 5 laps ago and haven't gotten away. That's because they've been elbows out, lunging at each other, losing time, just like the fiercely forward teammates are not.
It's very true. Now, Blaze Andrich does have the push-to-pass advantage coming to 1 to go. He's got 49 seconds to Nathan Moore's 27, so we'll kind of see. Will Lyon very far up the road there, and he's got quite a bit to defend with as we head toward...
Craig Forsyth just Tokyo drifted through La Source. Catch that on his YouTube stream of this race later today.
You ever notice if you watch Craig on his stream, and I got to give a shout out to Craig because he's one of the nicest guys to race against. But you ever notice if you're in a battle with him how he kind of leans his head to the left and like forward,
like he's in the car?
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it absolutely is. But gotta love race with Craig. He's so much fun. Watching Andrich and Moore come through the bus stop one more time. We are on the final lap. The white flag is out here at Spa.
Murph, how would you abbreviate Fiercely Forward if you had?
Golly, I don't know, Clindy. I'm not.
So I'm going to coin it now. It's FF, and that's how you forfeit in most online games. The rest of the competition may as well have done it at the start of the green flag because these two have walked away with the top 2 steps of the podium.
See, and that tells you how much I game online other than this. I'm very much a Super Nintendo kind of a guy there, Clindy. Maybe a little bit before your time. Whoa! Blaze Andrich is spinning! Andrich spins, and there goes Sam Carasella. Seb Alexander is going to get through, and Alan Berteau. Andrich is going to get pointed the right way. Is he going to be able to fend off Rashad Craig? No. So a late spin for Blaze Andrich is going to put a wonderful run to 6th. Back to 10th. I don't think he's in danger of Tristan Moss at all. He's going to have to take care of those reds. Meanwhile, Christian Hilgard has caught Connor Parise in the back of this field. He and the general looking to bring it home 1 and 2.
It shouldn't impact the leaders at all. Unless Parise makes a mistake here in the bus stop in front of them, it should be no drama whatsoever for the Fiercely Forward teammate.
Absolutely not. Here he comes one more time through the bus stop on the Firestone Reds. That's Christian Hillegard, followed by Kevin Burrell. They will run 1-2 here for the Fiercely Forward team. That's a new team, of course, this season. 1-2 for Hildegard and Burrell. Phil Kraus comes through the bus stop. He will bring it home 3rd. Will Lyon, he is going to safely come home 4th. And Nathan Moore is going to escape Blaze Andrich, and he'll come home 5th. Sam Carasella, he'll come through in 6th. Seb Alexander, a fine run to 7th. Alan Berteau, same to 8th. Rashad Craig, there he is in 9th. And rounding out your top 10, there's Blaze Andrich, and he almost fell victim to Tristan Moss there. Matt Taylor in 11th. Sudik is going to be, 12th. Sudik 13th. Leon is 14th. And Ollie McGowan 15th. Give these guys their due. Logan Edwards 16th. Matt Hollybaugh, he's had an adventurous day. Hollybaugh is currently 17th. He's being chased by Craig Forsyth. But they're looking to come home 17th and 18th. They've got David Hinger right behind him in 19th. Some 1 minute.
Well, Hollybaugh got there with the last lap pass around Forsyth even.
Yes, he did. So there's Hollybaugh, Craig Forsyth, and David Hinger. He's going to come home 19th. And there's Uncle Rob. He's gonna bring it home 20th. Well done for Rob Iglesias. Connor Parise, the last car out on the racing surface. And we'll bring him home. He is 21st. Is Olivia out there? She is not. So Connor Parise, the last automobile on the racetrack. And we agree, Mike Rigney. Craig is a solid dude. We do love him very much. Here comes Connor Parise, though. He's looking to make his final lap. We want to give everybody their due for finishing this race. It is a tough one just to finish, Clindy.
Yeah, I love this red and white Nitro Cross car. Let's watch it cross the white and black finish line.
And there we go. And so at the end of 21 laps of Spa, Christian Hillegard is going to be your winner Kevin Burrell second. The General Philip Kraus is third. Will Lyon fourth. Nathan Moore is going to round out your top 5. Sam Carosella, a fine run to 6th. Seb Alexander 7th. Alan Berteau 8th. Rashad Craig 9th. And Blaze Andrich is going to round out your top 10. In 11th, Tristan Moss 12th. Matt Taylor. Nick Sudik is 13th. Leon, you say the last name, Clinty, because you got it right. My Southern Indiana mouth can't quite do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Flugiker.
Leon Flugiker is 14th. Ollie McGowan 15th. Ollie McGowan 15th, Logan Edwards 16th. Matt Hollybaugh 17th. Craig Forsyth is going to be 18th. David Hinger 19th. And Uncle Rob and Glakis will round out your top 20. In 21st, Connor Parise. He is the final finisher. Olivia Hayward out of the race 22nd. Thomas Van Kirk out of the race 23rd. Nelson Olinsky 24th. And also out of the race and shotgun on the field, Sophia Connell will round out the 25 starters today. Let's get some replays queued up and see who we have in the booth.
Yeah, we've got Burrell and our winner and historian, Christian Hilgard. I think Phil Kraus again. We've got to pony up some more donations so we can pay his media appearance fee for the pro with the flow. And whenever you're ready for Burrell, I can bring him up.
Absolutely. Go ahead and bring in the General.
Hey. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Hello.
I now can.
Kevin Burrell, do you have a copy?
I sure do.
All right, Murphy, what do you got?
You know, Kevin, long time no chat. It's good to see you back on the podium. You and Christian pretty much dominated this thing. Tell us about your day, man. Looked like Christian got the jump, and you and him just kind of dusted everybody from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic stupid spa start where, a P3 is basically better than P2. I followed Christian out, held the inside like a psycho, and from there, I was worried if anyone behind us at that point on lap 1 had lower downforce. We were already reasonably low, but if anyone was running any lower, there was definitely a chance of getting past up to the end of the Camel, and we held it. And then from there, it was just try and stay in his draft. He had a pretty good plan for fuel saving to make it to 13 laps. For me, it was like, oh, I'm about to fall out of draft. Okay, I guess time to use a couple seconds of P2P and, try and stay in, try and keep the fuel saving going. I had a good stop for probably the first time in my life. And, it was, according to Caps, 0.4 faster than him. And he already had a fast stop. So then from there, yeah, just kind of drove it out, and it was great.
Absolutely. Clint, do you have anything for the General this evening?
I guess no insight, but I'm glad to know that you gave me the insight that being in second when the leader is faster than you is not good for your fuel number because you've got to push to catch up. It seems like Christian had it on cruise control today. Kevin, the limelight is all yours for any sponsors, family, friends, or you'd like to shout out. The floor is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the guys at Fiercely Forward, and P1 Docs as well. We've been working pretty hard on some setup stuff and doing a lot of testing recently, and it's been real good. So obviously, that's helping out. Phil actually has to put in 1/1000th of an ounce of effort to beat us. So. It's a good feeling, I guess.
And he didn't today. Congratulations.
No, yeah, never mind that he basically rolled up with his Road America set. But, yeah, it was good. And, thanks all the stream viewers. And my parents, I think they're watching. So, yeah, thanks, guys. And, it was real fun. Nice raco here at 9 a.m. in Japan.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin, enjoy the start to your day, right? And
yeah.
We'll catch you next week. I think that
at the start of your new year.
Yeah. It's New Year's Eve here, so time to stay up until 1 or 2 a.m. I guess. See you guys around and see you in the new year. Have a good one.
See, you got an early start to the party, brother.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cheers.
That's Kevin Burrell. He is going to be the second step at the podium tonight, and we'll go ahead and bring in Christian Hildegard, who is your winner this evening. For whatever reason, the slow-mo replay isn't working, but nevertheless, we can manage. Christian Hilgard, you got a copy?
Sure do.
Hey, man. Mark Murphy, Kyle Clenworth in the P1 broadcasting booth. Man, you got on you started on the pole. You got the drop on everybody at the green flag, and then from there it looked like pretty smooth sailing. Tell us about your night here at Spa.
It was. I wouldn't say it was entirely smooth sailing. Kevin definitely kept me honest, but starting P1 at Spa, it's always, it's quite easy to get a good jump and at least be comfortable on the first lap. But from there, if you don't break the draft, it's quite tough to break away. So Kevin had the slipstream, and I was kind of considering if I maybe even wanted to drop back a bit and see if he wanted to pass and give me some slipstream so I could benefit from it, because the fuel save was quite tight. I think I stopped in the box on exactly 0.2 liters, which is when you start sputtering. So it was very tight making it, but just about did it, and had good enough pace to keep Kevin behind, luckily. And unlike last time around, actually winning from pole, which is nice, even if Phil did rock up on a Road America set and we rocked up on a purpose-built Spa set. Similar tracks, but nonetheless, it's good to win, but we want to beat Phil at his very best.
Absolutely. Clindy, what say you to our winner this evening?
Yeah, Murph had me believing that Kevin Burrell would be such a good teammate, he would never even try to think about fighting you for the lead, lest you lose time to Phil Kraus. Christian, what you told me here made me think maybe a little differently. Do you think that if you were, maybe a tenth or two slower lap after lap, Kevin would have put elbows up and tried to go?
I think Kevin is a reasonable guy when it comes to racing. He probably would have left it quite late to fight it out. We're in the same voice goal, so if we wanted to coordinate something, we could have done that. But no, I don't think Kevin would have gone for a move out of unprovoked. The first goal was to beat Phil, and then we could fight it out amongst ourselves right at the very end. If it became relevant, which it didn't today. It looked like for a moment, especially at the end of the prime stint, that I was thinking, I'm not going to be able to break away here, but I did manage to break a little bit of a gap right at the end and be a little bit more comfortable.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Christian, for stopping by. You're the pole sitter, the winner. The floor is yours, sir. Friends, family, sponsors, anybody you'd like to thank tonight, it's all you.
Yeah, first of all, big thanks to P1 Docs. We're killing it on the setup front with P1 Docs this year. Very excited for what we're doing there. And then, of course, big shout out to my teammates at Fiercely Forward, that being Kevin, being Sam, also Lewis and Hamilton at Kapuisi. I think Kevin said much of the same, but we're making some good progress on the setups, and that's really a team effort. And, well, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see if we can beat Phil at his best, but at least he has to try now, which is good. So, big shout out to those guys for making big strides.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Christian. Congratulations on a magnificent run. Keep going fast, having fun, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys, and thank you so much for the broadcast.
Absolutely. And so, Clindy, that'll end our broadcast this evening at Spa from the Forest of Belgium. What are your thoughts on kind of what we saw and where we go from here, my friend?
Well, Christian obviously knows his way around the track map, and how to navigate it with the loud pedal down. So congratulations to him schooling the field today and schooling the commentary booth on how to get around Spa and how to talk about the corners. So I'm really glad to see him do well and dominate, especially after he was so dejected at Road America with the way the race evolved there. Honestly, put on a pretty good show. I really, really am loving this debris update. I think every time we can put some gravel or grass down on the track, it makes for some interesting racing developments when certain drivers have to compensate for a lack of grip unexpectedly. It's almost like you get one corner of rain or one corner of oil slick that these people have to navigate and deal with a little bit of unexpected scenarios, which I always find really fun. And you also have to recover harder, or it's more difficult to recover if you make a large mistake, where I felt like perhaps maybe it wasn't as punishing as it should have been. We saw a couple drivers go off and basically they never had the same pace after. But regardless, this third week of this open campaign has proved just as fruitful as the first two, and I hope the viewers at home enjoyed it as well. The last broadcast of 2024, but not the end of the season. So we'll be back. What time? Monday next week, right, Murph? Where will?
Yeah, so we will be back here next Monday, same time, same bad channel. I believe we are going to an oval next week at Kansas, which suits you and I very well. So we're happy.
How much do I have to pay you to be in the field instead of in the booth?
We'll negotiate that off the air. Your broadcast fees, I don't think are going to be quite enough to cover it, Clindy, but
Zero. What do you mean $0 isn't enough to buy a ride at Kansas?
We'll see. But it's going to be a good time. Kansas is a really awesome 1.5 miler. And that'll be next Monday here on the P1 Broadcasting Network, same time, 7 p.m. As a reminder, this week's Indy Oval Series top split race that you would normally see tomorrow has been moved to Friday as it was last week. We're going to roll on Friday just because tomorrow is New Year's Eve, and I think most of us have other things to do tomorrow evening. And we would like to thank everybody for watching us tonight. I know it's a holiday weekend, or I know it's a holiday upcoming. As Kevin said, it's already New Year's Eve in some parts of the world, so we would like to thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Would love to thank all of our first responders, the police, the firefighters, the military, the EMTs, everybody that does the hard work at night so that we can sleep in peace. Do want to thank them. And then lastly, on behalf of the entire team here at P1 Broadcasting, we do want to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and thank you so very much for welcoming us in 2024. 2025 is going to be a bigger and better year yet, and we definitely appreciate all of your support. For Kyle Clinworth, tonight, Mark Murphy from the virtual Spa Francorchamps. Good night and have a Happy New Year, everybody.